The Speaker of the South African Parliament is under arrest. Nosipiwe Mapisa Nkakula quit on Wednesday evening and surrendered to authorities on Thursday morning. Kisa na maana, ufisadi. You see, the Speaker is accused of corruption in relation to an alleged 4 million rand bribe, that is around 28 million shillings. Speaker Mapisa Nkakula is accused of soliciting for bribes from a former Department of Defense contractor in return for a government tender. That sounds like a petty offense here in Kenya. I mean, the act of asking for something to get something sounds very routine to us here, doesn't it? Ni mambo ya kawaida. The latest anti-corruption report clearly showed how routine and widespread this trend is. But that is not my point tonight. I'm more concerned with integrity, especially of our leaders. I'm not saying what the South African Speaker did was right. I mean, corruption is like a parasite that just takes and takes and takes. My point is on owning up, resigning, and taking responsibility. Corruption in Kenya is a matter that seems like an abandoned, old and dusty signpost to nowhere. We know it exists, we hear about it numerous times, but we simply don't care, or worse, we are used to it. Speaker Mapisa Nkakula did not wait to be summoned, neither did she show up at the police station with a crowd of supporters chanting Mtu wetu. She saved her party the blushes and surrendered. Though she maintains her innocence, she is letting the law take its course. Makes me think of Chapter 6 of the Constitution, Leadership and Integrity, a chapter that has existed more for aesthetics and wishful thinking than for our constitutional reality. For the over 10 years of its existence, this is a chapter of the Constitution that has struggled the most to lift itself off the pages of the document and into a practical aspect of the Kenyan life. We have leaders running for office even after being flagged by the body charged with promoting ethics and fighting corruption, EACC. For instance, in the last elections, 241 aspirants were found with questions worth noting, but they were still allowed to run for public office. No integrity whatsoever. Just to remind you, the 241 politicians spanned across all elective positions. We have leaders accused of corruption and who are happily holding office and in fact using that office to keep gobbling up public funds. No integrity whatsoever. In an ideal world, people resign when they differ in principle, not in law. However, we can write all these laws, but there are some things that cannot be prescribed, and integrity is not just a construct of the alphabet. You have to go beyond. Integrity has to be lifted off the books into our action, thinking, and conduct. That does not require an enabling legislation, but an enabling mindset of every individual. That is why we talk of concepts like political and moral responsibility, because they tie the law to our conscience. Chapter 6 can only talk about integrity, but it is the duty of individuals to live it and make it a habit and make it a culture. The law has nothing to say on such matters, but our morals and conscience should be the guide, especially for those who hold public offices. The right thing cannot be governed. What are we teaching future generations? That taking responsibility is overrated? That does not matter what we do so long as there are no legal implications? This is just plain wrong. Leadership and integrity should walk hand in hand. Integrity comes with certain irreducible minimums. Integrity paves way for moral accountability. It is the only way sometimes of making the powerful accountable to those who donate the power to them. The onus is on all of us to ensure that we speak out when our leaders prove to be less than what we expected when we donated the powers to lead us to them. Let us stop the culture of ignoring matters when we clearly know that what is happening is morally wrong and ensure that when it comes to our leaders, two words go hand in hand: leadership and integrity. The totality of my memo tonight is this: integrity is also a common sense question. That is my memo.